All right. Welcome back to the two OGs. How the story began. Kasama ko our really inspiration. One of the reasons or one of the big reasons why nagsimula tayo maging vlogger. Kaya binabash-bash na naman tayo every week. The most bash, the most research vlogger na tayo dahil dito. Kasama pa natin, senatorial candidate. Ano na number mo ngayon? Dami na disqualified.
Ito,
Mark Gamboa.
27.
27.
27. Magkasunod
Yes.
kami ni Bongo.
Oh my God. Ano na final ng Senate? Na-disqualify na naman. Si Chavit andyan pa rin? Ano nangyari?
Hindi, wala naman. Basta yung mga umatras, tsaka yung mga ano, so hindi na siguro binago yung sa numbers. So, pareho pa rin, kahit merong mga umatras, hinayaan na lang doon, stray votes na lang pag binoto sila.
Yun. Speaking of, well, mataas ang hope ko sa'yo noon. Sabi ko, kung tuloy yung plano ni Digong, maraming matatanggal ang candidate. But next thing you know, si Digong ang natanggal, hindi yung mga senatorial candidates. So,
Kasalanan ng ICC yan.
ah,
Sayang. Mas mataas
bro, you had the
yung
chance.
ngayon.
Sana inintay mo na nila si Duterte, tanggalin niya yung mga candidates bago ka sumali. But kidding aside, bro, let's talk about your campaign, bro. Before we go to Harry Sr., let's talk about your own balingbing moves, bro. So, one day you were with Ronald
Hindi,
Llamas.
hindi. Ito
Next
lang,
day, Mark
Richardo.
Caleta and
Hindi
Amy. What the
Tingnan
heck?
mo ito. Yan yun.
Ay, sus.
Itong inadapt tayo ng action eh. So, kasi yung talagang real fiesta and yung masaya talaga happens dun sa 45 days ng local elections eh. So, starting nung Friday, nag-a-attend na tayo ng mga proclamation rallies ng mga local candidates. At puro action nga yung inatenan ko. So, nung Friday, kay Sonny Trillanes for Caloocan Mayor. At nakasama ko doon, na nag-endorso si Sunny ni Senator Risa Ontiveros. So she was there. She chose to be with Sunny on the first day ng local elections. Tapos si Heidi Mendoza was there. Representatives ng Kiko and BAM was there also. So parang ano, the face of the opposition yung nandoon sa proclamation rally ni Sunny Trillanes for Caloocan Mayor. And ayun, and tayo nakapagsalita tayo sa stage, and yun, yung taasan ng
So,
kamay na endorso
Caloocan to,
tayo.
bro.
So
This is in Caloocan, bro. Caloocan to.
yes,
Yes,
Caloocan.
sorry.
Nung Friday sa South Caloocan, sa may Grace Park, nung Saturday sa may North Caloocan, sa sa barangay BF, kung taga saan si Sunny, kung saan siya nung kanyang pagtanda, nung kanyang kabataan.
Daily week talaga.
So, yun yung dalawang proclamation rally, nag-attend tayo pareho. At yun nga, mga doon, mga inindorsong senador ay yung sa Kiko Bam Heidi. Trust me. So, yun ang maraming salamat.
Wow!
I truly appreciate.
Galing. Di ba blue yung color? Parang royal blue, parang Persian royal blue. Yung nakita ko yung poster ni... Ang ganda ng poster niya.
Yes.
Parang si Sunny Sarap, si
Ganda, may araw,
Dito. Parang ganda.
monumento.
Parang talagang Superman talaga ang dating. Oh.
Oo, kaya yun. And speaking of Superman, si Sec Llamas, nakita ko siya doon nung Saturday. He was able to attend. Oo, nung Sabado. Yun. So,
This was Sabado
masaya,
to,
masaya.
bro. Aha, so this was
Oh, yeah.
Saturday. So, meron ng United Opposition? May Team Liwanag na?
More or less, yes. Oh, more or less. Kung meron mang mga maaring hindi pagkakaunawaan and ano, I think naayos yan, and naayos na yan, and kumbaga look ahead dun sa mission, which is of course Kiko Bam and then si Heidi. So yun naman yung ano, and si Sunny of course is full support naman of course kay sa mga direction ni Senator Risa bilang one of the leaders ng opposition. Good soldier naman si Sunny, and of course si
V
Senator Risa on
leader.
their part. Yeah, ano yan?
V
Yes, si
leader.
Senator
Kasi
Risa
di ba
naman.
Rita na?
Oo. Kaya nga. So si Senator Risa naman, yung endorsement niya kay Sunny ang ganda eh. Talagang lalo na
Can you tell
naisip.
us sa ano yung sinabi ni Risa? Can you talk? Let's talk about Risa more. Medyo ang tagal natin hindi na pag-usapan. So,
Oo.
Risa was there very prominently endorsing. Ano yung sinabi ni Risa, bro?
Yung mga qualities ni Sunny na nagustuhan niya, At nung nakasabay niya nga sa Senado, nakita niya yon. Una is yung matapang. Obvious naman yon na kahit ano babanggain basta para sa Pilipino. Pangalawa is malinis, walang mahanap na kahit na anong bahid ng korupsyon kay Sunny. And pangatlo is malasakit, may puso. Kahit macho, may malasakit sa kapwa. So yun yung sinabi ni Risa. Tapos yung mga batas na pinagtulungan nila ni Sunny, like yung expanded Senior Citizens Act, and yung mga iba-ibang batas na pinagtulungan nila. Kaya yun, ang ganda ng endorsement ni Senator Risa. At natuwa naman ako na she
And
was
how was
there.
her and how was her demeanor? How was her feeling? Did she look confident? Did she look Sorry, ginawa kitang reporter because I was in Europe, Brussels, medyo out of the loop.
Yeah, yeah.
So, can you like tell me, brother, how was Risa? Did she feel confident? Did she feel elated? Siyempre, with the ICC developments, may chance ng opposition sa Senate. Can you tell us a little bit about how she was feeling, how she looked in terms of confidence, demeanor, ganun?
She was on fight mode, on campaign mode, pero mostly for Kiko and Bam. So yun yung yun yung, of course, she endorsed Sunny, pero nandun din siya. Siyempre, she wants Kiko and Bam to win. At ang nangyari nga nung araw na yon, I think that was the first time na directly na parang inendorso niya si Heidi. So, ayun. So, Heidi reposted that also. So, Risa is supporting now Kiko, Bam, and Heidi. At ako naman, first time ko lang siya ma-meet noon. Yan, na-meet ko. Tapos nalaman pa niya, na kapodcast ko. Una sinabi ko ikaw, tapos si Sec Ronald, yun. Yun. Pero anyway.
I think between me and Ronald, better to be attached to me than Ronald, especially in this case. I think, alam ko, medyo controversial din ako, to put it mildly, but I think in this case, dapat sinabi mo ako yung partner mo,
Parang
hindi si
nag-iba yung mukha
Ronald.
yata nung joke lang, joke lang. Sabi ng Liama, sabay yuko, sabay. Pero actually, sa totoo lang, na starstruck talaga ako kay Senator Risa. At may moment nga kasi nung sa stage, hindi kasi ako sanay. Hindi ako sanay sa mga ganong mga na yung mga senador, ikaw yung katabi nung kandidato sa gitna. So nasa kanan si Mayor Sani, si Senator Risa, tapos ako yung nasa kaliwa, doon na yung nagtaas ng kamay lahat. So parang medyo nahihiya-hiya din ako. Kasi baka yung Senator Risa, sino ba to? Sino ba to? Pero at the same time, masaya ako na I was able to become part of that moment. And ramdam mo na na yun nga, this is the face of the original opposition, yung grupo na yun, na sumama kay Sani nung March 28. March 28,
Mabait
tama,
naman si Sir Sunny. Mabait naman si Sunny. Hindi na siya, ano mo naman. Wala namang patama sa mga kaibigan natin sa Team Liwanag.
ang narinig ko okay na okay na. Basta kung ano mang mga alingas-ngas, at the end of the day naman, pareho naman tayo ng hangarin, pareho naman. Kumbaga, mas malalim yung mga pinagsamahan, tsaka yung mga gera na And yun naman. And maski yung si Lenny naman kasi, nung in-interview si Lenny, di ba, na tinanong siya about that issue, katabi niya si Leila. So, more or less, yung sagot niya is na accountability and all that. So, yun naman ang naging issue kasi dahil dun kay Duterte. After nung ICC arrest, medyo na-realize na hindi, kailangan na nagsasama-sama tayo. Kasi sa totoo lang, talagang yung arrest galvanize and energize yung base ng mga DDS.
But it
Speaking
also
of which,
vindicated Senator Trillanes, no? Like in a way
oo
na
naman,
parang,
oo naman.
'di ba? Parang ang hirap na tanggihan ng yung tapang at saka yung mga sakripisyo ni Senator Trillanes. Of course, yung isa pang star ngayon, yung kasama natin, shoutout kay Attorney Conti, 'di ba? Sobrang blooming siya ngayon in the best sense of the word. Ang dami na vindicate, Senator De
Yes,
Lima,
yes.
even na vindication. So I hope dahil dito sa ICC development, and we'll talk about the DDS and Duterte rally soon, brother. But before going there, I want to stick sa Team Liwanag muna. I think etong ICC na yan has been not only a moment of vindication, but it might give an opportunity na to heal some of the little tensions and fault lines within Team Liwanag, di ba? So I think yung pogi points kumbaga ni
Yeah.
Singh,
Yun ang
sobrang
naramdaman
umakyat
ko.
na ngayon.
Yun ang
Oo.
naramdaman ko. Pero yun nga, meron din backlash eh. So yun din ang kailangan pagtulungan din nung you said nga, Team Liwanag, kailangan, ito yung damit ko, ang liwanag oh. Kailangan, they need to come together to face yung backlash. Kasi malaki din yung backlash. And of course, malaki din part na mapupunta kay Mayor Sani Trillanes. Kasi talagang nagagalit sa kanya yung mga nasaktan dahil na-arrest si Digong.
Speaking of which, before we go to your next event, we just shows Harry is really your progeny. Ayan na naman tayo, no? The other way around. Bro, I love you, di ba? Sabi nga na, good friends stab you in the front. So, bago kitang laglagan. Kasi, wait, ang next na kasama mo bigla, wala, Mark Coleta, Amy Isko.
Oh.
Okay, so how did you go from Team Liwanag event to the other event without being accused as being double agent? Or is this just a Harry skill? Like you can seamlessly go from one to the
mo,
other.
nakalagay sa logo ng t-shirt ko, Aksyon Demokratiko. Meron akong valid excuse, Richard. De, bukod sa kaibigan ko
Parati
pareho,
naman eh.
kaibigan ko si Mayor Sani, 1 year ko nang kino-cover, binablog. Of course, si Isko, 6 years yung relationship namin. At even longer pa, 2007, 2006, na nakakasama ko na si Isko. Aksyon Demokratiko. So, yung sa action, ako ay inadapt. Of course, kala Chairman Ernest Ramel, inadapt ako ng action, only Senate candidate na tumatakbo. And yung ano na yon, yung proclamation rally na yon, parehong Aksyon Demokratiko. Si Isko Moreno is president ng aksyon, si Trillanes, sumali sa action. He joined action upon filing ng kanyang COC last year. So, same party, Richard. Same party. Pero, different campaigns, different dynamics. Yun ang masasabi ko lang. Yun nga, one night, di ba, nasa stage, tataas kamay kasama si Senator Risa, si Senator Heidi. The following night, magtataas ng kamay ang kasama ko, Senator Gringo, Senator Congressman Rodante Marcoleta, and nandun si representatives ni Bongo, nandun din si Philip Salvador, si Mr. Efectivo, and yung iba talaga pag-artista eh. Pag si Philip, yung mga tao talagang ano eh.
Si Philip Salvador.
Tuwa, oo.
Philip Salvador.
Oo, kinakanta nila yung kanta ni Philip eh. Nasikat mo yata, Richard eh.
Okay. Actually, may sabi, kasalanan mo to. Walang nanood na after that. Ano kayang moves na yung ganun-ganun?
Oo, alam nila yung kanta ni Philip. And ito, with all due respect syempre, magkakasama lang kami kanina lang. Si Congressman Rodante Marcoleta, nung nasa stage na siya, binanatan niya yung current administration. Kasi yung ibang mga senatorial na tumakbo, yung ibang mga senador, umiiwas sila sa issue eh. Hindi nila tinatakil yung, maski yung sa alyansa, maski yung sa mga pinks, sa Team Liwanag, umiiwas sa mga issue. Siguro ang nagsasalita lang yung mga progressive, sila Luke, sila Lyodi, Makabayan, pero the rest, medyo umiiwas. Pero si Marcoleta,
Di ba talaga pro Duterte Violeta ever since naman na? I'm surprised that you're surprised. I'm surprised you're so.
Pero usually pag campaign, you step back, hindi ka, 'di ba? Medyo ayaw mong anuhin, pero hindi si Marcoleta kanina. Talagang puro criticism sa Marcos government. Tapos about yung hindi daw makatarungan, yung pagkuha sa ICC, yung pagkuha kay Digong papuntang ICC. At ang daling ibenta ng sa totoo lang yung napapansin ko sa mga DDS, ang daling ibenta pag sa mga tao na sinasabi nila na bakit tayo pinapakialaman ng mga ibang bansa, ganun-ganun. So, ang hirap i-explain.
Ito ba yung, wait lang bro, ito ba yung mga tao na okay lang sa akin nila na maging province of China tayo?
Hindi mga so kanina mga ordinaryong Manileño, mga nasa ordinaryong mamamayan ng Sampaloc sa Manileño. Parang ang daling ang daling, so nakikita ko yung challenge eh. Kung paano mo i-explain sa kanila na itong mga biktima, itong mga tapos hindi makuha yung hustisya dito, tapos kailangan mag-ano sa ICC. So ang hirap i-explain siya sa ordinaryong Pilipino. Unlike nung si Marcoleta, nung nagsalita siya, diretsahan lang niya. Mali yung ginawa nila kay Duterte. Nung panahon ni Duterte, inalis niya lahat ng mga siraulo sa kalsada. Ganon. Yung naging safe yung mga kalsada, no, napakasimple nung kanilang bentahe. Kanilang ano, and kinakagat ng ilang mga nakakarinig. Syempre, hindi ko naman masabi kung ilan doon. Pero ano, kita mo yung ano, kita mo kung paano yung how they are able to deliver yung message nila and how it is able to be
So you're saying they have message discipline,
by ordinary Filipinos.
but obviously they also have, kasi ako humabol ako ng parang yung sale sa Mango ng pambili ng coat before I went to ICC, di ba? 2 weeks ago. Yung mga tao doon sa ano, na-recognize nila ako, and then parang nag-gets yata nila where am I going. And then they were saying, di ba nakakaawa si Tatay Tigong, ang tandaan niya na, di ba sir, papunta ba kayo dyan? So parang na-recognize at alam nila siguro ang gagawin ko. So sinagot ko naman, yeah, pero syempre ganun-ganun. Hindi ko na lang dinabate. Pero tama ka eh. Ang problema kasi, there's a face kasi to put on Duterte, this elderly man na 8 years old, na nakita mo parang hirap na hirap, I don't know kung jet lag, whatever. Sa pagkaalam ko, hindi lang isa yung transit niya, dalawa yung transit niya, na-confirm ko nung nasa Hague ako, yung logistical facts among others. So, and the fact na he used to be very charming, powerful. Last year lang sinabi niya, upakan niya yung ICC. So I think there's kind of like a arc of tragedy, drama that people can relate to. Not to mention yung senior, yung pagmamahal natin sa ating seniors. So I think yung challenge kasi dyan, bro, is, 'di ba? Pagdating sa biktima, I think nakulang tayong lahat eh. Hindi lang media, pati tayo sa vlogging, sa influencer world. Halos wala sa atin na cover ng pamilya. I met one of the siblings of one of the EJK victims when I attended one of the talks in Brussels about the ICC and all. And sabi na, natatakot kasi daw yung mga biktima eh. Nakita mo yung ibang biktima, sabi nila, taning biktima pa, itutroll pa sila, baka patayin pa sila ng ibang pulis na involved. Sobrang natakot daw sila. And then nung sabi ko, magko-cover ako, sabi niya, sir, siguraduhin mo, may protection ka. Sabi ko, kaibigan ko naman si General Torre. Pero sabi niya, so, talagang parang ano eh, voiceless and faceless yung other side of the equation. So, ang dali mag-sympathize kay Digong, di ba? I'm just trying to analyze how it looks eh. Oh.
Even those na naniniwala sa ICC, hindi sila makapag-speak openly supporting ICC. Yun ang problema. Unlike dun sa kabilang side, nagbandwago na eh. Si Senator Gringo, nag-sympathize kay Digong. Yung mga ibang sinusuportahan ko pa, si Congressman Bosita, ang daming independent, si Ariel Quirobin, ang daming mga independents na
Pero Duterte leaning na most of these ones. Most of them Duterte leaning, or most of them are Duterte leaning or work for Digong. I mean, I won't say Gringo is like DDS, but Gringo work as.
Pero they were quiet before eh. Yun ang problema. Before the arrest happened, hindi sila nakikisaw-saw on any sides. Siguro may personal feeling sila, pero hindi sila nakikisaw. Dahil yung pressure na social media ng mga DDS at ng mga nakakasympathize kay Digong, maybe they were, I don't know kung yun talaga yung nararamdaman nila, o maybe they were yung ano ng tao, yung sa social media. Kaya nagiging openly vocal sila in not supporting yung ginawa sa ICC. Pero yung may suporta sa ICC, tahimik. Yun ang problema, Richard. Tahimik yung may mga sumusuporta sa
Silent
ICC.
Majority, bro. Silent majority. Actually, kanina sabi ko nga.
I mean, yung mga candidates. Kami mismo.
Yeah, takot yung mga stance yung mga tao. Yeah.
Magsalita dahil mawawala ng boto dun sa mga mainit ang ulo ng mga sumusuporta kay Digong. Yun ang problema. Kumaga, palakas yung messaging nila dahil nakakapagsalita openly. Yung mga kandidato nila, si Marcoleta, kahit saan pumunta, puro Digong ICC. Habang yung mga kandidato na naniniwala sa ICC, tahimik. Hindi masabi na gusto ko mag-rejoin tayo ng ICC. Ayun, ako, I can openly say, gusto ko mag-rejoin tayo sa ICC. Pero syempre, maliit lang ako, mababa lang ako sa surveys. Pero yun ang nakikita kong problema talaga.
Yeah, but you're right, bro. Ang problema kasi natin, presidente pa lang, medyo, you know what I'm saying, medyo kulang eh, di ba? Parang medyo half-baked eh. So, kung sana si BBM ay very strong principled yung stance. I mean, nakita mo naman yung effort ng dalawang Remulla, yung mga Remulla brothers with General Torre dun sa hearing ni Amy. We'll talk about Amy soon. I think there was an attempt for them to put a strong principled position and attack the drug war of Digong. Pero it has to come from the president. And the press conference of the president was not very impressive. And the fact that he's not making a move towards rejoining ICC, walang effort to give the victims platform. Ang labas dito sa iba is parang ano lang, political convenience. Eh syempre, kalaban mo Digong, di hayaan mo, problem solved, let ICC take care of it. So I think yun din ang problema kasi from the very
Yung
top,
problema.
wala kang decisive leadership to set the messaging and narrative. I mean, basically it's Attorney Castro, Yusek Castro, who's trying to set the narrative, but she's not even the presidential spokesman.
Kulang. Ay, hindi din eh. Hindi din siya maka-totally pro-ICC eh. Kasi ine-echo lang niya yung stand ng presidente. I think yung mga Rimulya, you could start with that.
Yes.
Binabash na din naman sila.
With Torre.
Tuloy-tuloy na. Si Torre, ano kasi, kumbaga, ano pa eh, medyo, siya na nga yung humuli, siya pa yung, pero maraming, the government needs more talking heads explaining to the people kung bakit importante yung nangyari sa ICC in terms of justice para doon sa mga EJK families. Nakasama ko sila this past week, 2 weeks ago. Nakasama ko yung mga membro ng paghilom ni Father Clavi. At iba yung ano eh. Ako nga meron akong, yung mga kaibigan ko, sinama ko sila nung minute ko para first hand nila makita yung victims mismo yung ang importante doon, Richard, hindi lang na pinatay yung mga kaanak nila o yung asawa o yung kapatid nila. It was how they were killed, how they were murdered. Parang hayop. Those were the words na parat na narinig ko paulit-ulit.
Slaughter. Basically slaughter yung ginawa. Slaughterhouse style, yeah.
Oo, pupunta sa bahay nila, hihilahin, tapos yun, i-assassinate na gano'n. So, tapos sabi natin, oo, kaya the government needs more talking heads talking about the victims, para medyo i-shift yung narrative. Kasi kung hindi, tuloy-tuloy lang itong for the next 3 years, itong Duterte camp na kawawa si Digong, kawawa si ano. So, yun eh.
And I think okay, my understanding in The Hague was that parang at least some of them understood na baka Duterte will spend the rest of his life na there, and if something happens to him before 2020 elections, baka ang mangyari is magkaroon ng sympathy vote like yung kay Cory, kay Nina. Parang they're looking at that prospect if ever. So the idea that the government will just try to wait this out and hope that the trial itself will take care of it, I think that's fanciful. So you're absolutely correct na, kasi actually bro, medyo conflicted ako in terms of my analysis. In a sense, sa isang banda, honestly, hindi ako nalakihan masyado sa mga rallies, pro Duterte rallies. Okay, hindi siya all over the country. Even the one in Davao, it looks like what, 60, 100,000. To be honest, I've seen much bigger. Yung pink rallies ito, way bigger. Even the ones in Europe and all, I mean, we have how many? 500,000, 1 million FWs? 2,000 is what? It's not even 0.001%. So, at the same time, tama ka. Ang question kasi dito, relative eh. Kahit anong sabihin mo na maliit yung mga rallies pro Duterte relatively, di ba? Eh kung majority silent lang, or hindi nagsasalita, tapos medyo hapyaw yung positioning ng government, di ba? And then itong third, I wanna ask this, bro. Kasi feeling ko, kung titignan mo, parang lumalakas yung, at least online, yung BBM supporters will parang vote for Bam, Kiko, and Heidi. Di ba? Parang nagiging ganun eh. Parang solid north for team. Yung mga ganun. So, nagiging open na yung mga pro-Marcos people to say, let's form at least a temporary coalition now. At least for now in these elections. Since lalong
vote.
Yeah, exactly. And the idea is that wala na si Amy. Basically, parang kalaban ng tingin sa Amy. I think si Crush, yung si Millennial, yung kasamang Millennial candidate, si Villar, si Camille, thank you. Basically, wala na rin sa alyansa. I think the Villars have made their stance very clear that they're gonna stand with Duterte. So that leaves 2 spots at least, diba? Within the 12 spots of alyansa. In theory lang to, So I think there is an attempt na by the pro-BBM camp to court people from the other side. And I think Senator Trillanes, I may have disagreements with him on some levels, but I think he was onto something when he basically said, wag na umasa na kumuha ng boto sa mga DDS, yung mga ibang Team Liwanag members. Doon na kayo mag-focus sa
Yung,
silent majority and basically yung solid north, even though ayaw niya kay Marcos. And I think that's also the problem, bro, di ba? The best people who can defend the decision of Marcos to arrest are actually from the yellow side or pink side na ayaw rin kay Marcos.
liwanag side.
Yeah,
Yun
exactly.
ang tawag natin.
Team Liwanag na
Paano
tawag ko sa
natin
kanila.
term na yun?
Yeah, sorry, Team Liwanag. Marami dyan, very anti-Marcos. Very, very anti-Marcos. I mean, yung kaibigan natin, si Attorney Carranza, for instance, very anti-Marcos, but he is very authoritative on this issue. Attorney Conti, very progressive. Obviously, hindi pro-Marcos, right? So, Dean Raul Pangalangan, judge ng ICC dati, not pro-Marcos din. Isa rin, critical din. So, I think yun yung problema ng admin ngayon. Yung mga big voices, I can only think of Justice Carpio na authoritative legal voice na nuance dito. Hindi pro-Marcos, pero naintindihan niya yung alignment na kailangan natin tactically for now. But even he doesn't spell it out that way, di ba? So, kumbaga, I hope I'm not being unfair to Justice Carpio, but my sense is he's very astute in terms of his understanding tactical alignments, just like Secretary Llamas. Ikaw, bro, do you think tama yung ganun na lang gagawin dapat nila na not to be pro-Marcos, but to be more open to getting votes of pro-Marcos and silent majority na ayos sa Dutertes? Because minority pa rin ang Dutertes. It's a very organized, I'll give it to them, they're very well organized. Naabutan ko sila nung pauwi sila from yung Malawakan rally after yung mass ko from Vatican. I went straight to Den Haag via Amsterdam. And then, ang dami, nakita ko. They're very organized. At mahal na mahal nila si Digong. I don't know, you saw my video, group hate ko pa yung mga ibang supporters ni Digong who are there every single day. So I'll give it to them in terms of organization. But they're still a minority. Quantitatively speaking, you look at all the data, Okta survey, you look at the survey on the ICC, they're at most somewhere between 15 to 25% of the population. So basically that means kalat yung remaining 65-75%. What do you think about that, bro? Mapa-off yung internet mo, I think.
Yeah, kasi ang problema dyan, kahit na may mga data na gano'n, na yung diehard siguro, yung mga doon sa sinabi mo. Kaso ang problema, kung magkaroon ng presidential elections ngayon, very few pa rin na pwedeng tumalo kay Sara eh. Yun ang problema. Walang alternative na ipapalit eh. Walang, di ba? Tulfo, nandun yung isa, pero aside from the Tulfos, sino pa ang pwede mong itapat kay Sara kung mag-head-to-head ngayon? So, yun ang problema. Kahit minority na yung mga DDS, kung wala ka din tatapat na kayang talunin si Sara na head-to-head election, yung same problem na the Dutertes will get back to power at we're back to square one.
So now let's speak about, so what is Amy up to right now? Do you think she's up to something? Because some people are saying na baka Amy might end up, hindi na siya yung namamangka sa dalawang ilog, parang namamangka siya sa dalawang bangka, parang ganyan.
She was there din kanina. Hindi ko napakinggan yung buong speech niya. Pero she explained sa mga tao kung bakit siya umalis sa alyansa. So, yun ang kanyang So, kaso yun nga, in-hope niya na yung makigain niya sa DDS side will offset yung mawawala niya dun sa machinery ng administrasyon at sa mga loyalista na nainis sa kanya. So, medyo ang hirap din kay
Risky yan, yeah. Very risky.
Sa huling survey, di ba, siya, number 16?
Yeah.
Medyo malayo. So, unless she could, ewan ko, paano nga ba? She could convince yung mga top DDS. Sara, yun siguro. Kung i-endorse siya siguro ni Sara, maybe makukuha niya yung boto ng mga DDS for this election. Pero anyone less than Sara, baka yun ang problema niya. Nawala na siya pareho. Nawala na siya sa Marcos side. Tapos wala din siya, hindi din ganun kadami makukuha niya sa DDS side. Yun, ang problema, marami silang sumasakay dun sa issue. Ha?
Yeah, alanganin siya din. I mean, so, kamusta yung Manila politics, by the way? Is it still going strong?
Yung lumabas sa Okta research nung beginning nung 45 days, Isko is still at 67%. Tapos,
split yung dalawa.
Split yung dalawa. So, pareho pa rin from 8 months ago eh. I mean, from October nung filing eh. So, sa akin talaga, syempre bias ako, kay Isko ako. So, iniisip ko talaga na karamihan doon ay buo na yung desisyon.
Pero Mayora, you're also worried, di ba? Pero kung bias ka, that means you're also worried na baka maging kampante siya, di ba? Because you want him to win. So you should be careful, right? Not to be complacent, di ba?
Pero ano kasi, si Yorme, lamang na masipag pa. Tapos, mga buong araw, umiikot. So, sa sipag, mas masipag pa siya dun sa dalawa. So, medyo, hindi naman siya nagko-complacent kasi he's going to do everything pa rin, by the book. Kasi syempre, pang ilang election niya na to sa
Correct.
Maynila,
Veterano.
pamilyar na siya to sa dyan. Syempre, all the way from 45 days hanggang sa the day of elections, how you bring out the vote. So, yun, kabisado na niya. Yun ang kulang kay Sam Versosa, which is yung experience na yun sa local. Si Mayor Hani, alam din naman yan, nagagamit din niya of course yung budget ng city, yung kanyang makinarya, get votes, pero hindi kulang parang nakatalo pa siya minsan sa Versosa. So, yun ang sitwasyon naman sa Manila.
Interesting. So that's your read. Now, let's talk about the man of the moment. Not sure kung tuloy yung hot pursuit sa kanya. Just the other day, sabi ni Kristan, parang no man's land na tong minamanhunt. But now, back in the fray, Harry Roque. Sayang, bumunta ako sa Brussels.
Asylum.
Nagpakita siya bigla doon sa detention. And he's flying. He's doing well. And talaga it takes a Harry to say what he said. No? Parang sa isang banda, binabash niya yung Hague. Mga Westerners daw, mga ex-colonizers, parang kinukulong si Digong. At the same time, nag-apply siya ng asylum sa kanya. Like,
Oo nga, no? Gusto na yun. No? Yung kanyang mensahe para sa Qatar.
Pinabastos mo yung mga pina-applyan mo ng asylum.
These Westerners. Yung sabi niya, habang nag-a-apply ka ng asylum, Diyos ko po naman, at ayari. English pa yung sinabi niya. Madaling maintindihan ng mga taga doon. Yung kanyang mensahe sa Qatar, di ba? Para dun sa mga DDS na na-arrest.
Wala, sorry pa. Para pag nagsalita siya, feeling niya presidential spokesman siya. Ang pake ng Qatar sa kanya. Parang who you, di ba? Nag-apply ka nga ng asylum parang ano ka na di ba? I mean, what do you think is going on with Harry? Like, in what world is his strategy working? Or wala talaga siyang magagawa? Talagang he just...
ang simple lang yung strategy niya. Wait this out hanggang may Duterte na makabalik or someone from Yun lang naman ang strategy niya. Wala na namang iba.
And what if hindi babalik yung mga
meron siya.
Dutertes? What if hindi babalik Dutertes at hindi siya bibigyan ng asylum? Ano mangyayari sa kanya? No man's land na siya.
No man's
Paano na si... Ayan na naman tayo. Baka ma-hot person pa siya. Yung mga pogo cases niya.
Kaya nga ma-Interpol pa siya.
ito. Just for the sake of our audience.
Trafficking pa rin mga kaso dito, di ba?
Yeah. We're appealing to you to understand the
Parang presidential
sentiments of
spokesman.
our countrymen. They love the president and they cannot accept the fact that he is now here at The Hague, held as prisoner by Westerners.
Prisoner daw.
So, we
colonizer daw.
We do understand. People's love.
Nakakalimutan niya.
Hindi siya ng asylum sa kanila. I mean,
state...
Ibang klase, no? It really takes a Harry to pull this off. Wala siyang sense of irony, wala siyang sense of... I don't know how he pulls it out. It takes a certain level of skills, no? Psychological skill, yung parang... Doesn't he see what the world sees? Like, ex-human rights lawyer, ex-presidential spokesman, nag-apply ng asylum, tapos binabastos niya yung sarili niya mga ina-applyan. I think tanggap din niya na hindi siya bibigyan ng asylum. Mga malabo daw. At saka yung mga nakausap ko sa Hague, sabi mga game over na rin kay Digong. So, I don't really know what he's trying to do. I think he's really just hoping na Sara will have a sympathy vote back to the Malacanang. But that assumes hindi siya ma-impeach, di ba? Kasi kung ngayon admin ka, the more you need to impeach her, di ba? Kasi parang alam mo na, yun na lang yung huling barahan nila, di ba? To get back to power no matter what.
Yun lang talaga. Yun lang ang game plan niya na open pray na mayroong Duterte na makabalik in power or sa 2028 magkaroon ng presidente na medyo sa kanya para makabalik dito. Pero wala na. Masyado nang malalim yung yung hukay na hinukay ni Tatay Harry para sa kanya sa Pilipinas.
We're towards the end of our discussion. I know you had a very long day, bro. And you must be exhausted and tired and all of that. But generally, bro, how are you feeling about these elections? Naging more exciting or most polarizing? Or baka online lang yun? I mean, of course, I've been bashed like crazy over the past month. But a part of me feels it's mostly online. I mean, this is, of course, I never underestimate yung sentiments in reality. But ako, like personally, na, yung mga na-meet ko mga Duterte supporters, almost all of them were very polite and nice in person. Kasi the other thing I want to ask you, bro, is speaking of silent majority, ang dami rin ng mga OFW natin kaibigan na nagko-comment sa mga platforms natin. And I got what? 40,000 new subscribers in the past 2 weeks and all. Biglang na-curious na tao, sino to si Darian, di ba? Biglang susurprise sila. And a lot of them are saying, actually, OFW din kami, pero hindi kami supporter ni Duterte. Tsaka feeling namin, parang nadadamay kami. And I think with the unfortunate incident in Qatar, like yung iba parang inisip nila, wait lang, parang wala, you have your right to support Duterte, but make sure it doesn't come in a way na mapahamak yung iba, di ba? Tsaka, di ba, kung na-detention yung mga OFW kaibigan natin, responsibilidad ng gobyerno natin na tulungan sila. So,
Oo,
it's a very,
government ang sasagot
it's a
sa
tricky
kanila.
situation, brother.
Nakadamay pa sila. Kasi, siyempre, kung mapag-initan ng Qatar, yung mga OFW, pati yung mga matitino, madadamay. Binabantayan na sila. Na baka meron pang ibang mag-rally pa uli, baka may matigas ang ulo pa uli. Madadamay lahat ng mga OFWs dyan. So, sana naman, ilagay nila sa lugar at huwag silang wag silang magpaloko. Meron kasi nang bubuyo ata eh. Merong mga organizers na niloloko yung mga
Agitator.
OFW. Nasabi na, hindi, okay lang yan, ano lang yan, may ano tayo. So, sana wag silang magpaloko sa ganun.
That's very important. Kasi feeling ko, ang laki din yung silent majority ng mga kapatid natin OFWs who, maybe not anti-Duterte, but not necessarily also like super pro-Duterte. Like, they're ambivalent. Parang hindi pa sila sure saan sila mag-stand. Or some of them actually are very openly saying, ayaw namin kay Digong, or dati kami bumoto kay Digong, pero namulat na kami. So, those are the OFWs we're not hearing from. The ones we're hearing are mostly the pro-Duterte ones. So I think again, I know why a lot of OFWs support President Duterte because they feel he was the strong leader who would bring order to the Philippines. Many people were asking, sabi na, bakit itong mga iba nakatira sa Europe, sa Australia, I don't know, Canada, napakamaayos na bansa, may rule of law, walang EJK, pero bakit pro-Duterte sila when knowing ganyan-ganyan? Ako ang pagkaintindi ko, yung parang, ang argument ng iba dyan is, dahil parang medyo underdeveloped pa tayo, kailangan natin ng strong leader. Yung mga developed country, dahil maayos na sila, may institutions na sila, okay na. So parang ganun yung rationalization. My counter argument to that is that how many dictators we had and how it keeps on going wrong. And more than that, you need strong leaders that build strong institutions. I'm not sure that's what we did under Duterte or Marcos Sr. or whoever. So I think medyo mali yung pagkaintindi ng what kind of leaders we need, or more importantly, what kind of policies we need. Economic policies, industrial policy. It's much more complicated than that. But that's how I understand na bakit yung mga kaibigan natin, mga kababayan natin na nakatira sa mga bansa na may rule of law, na walang EJK, sobrang strict yung due process, everything like that. Si Digong nga, ang ganda ng due process niya, ang ganda ng area ng detention center niya. It's like in a quaint village, nice area. Inis na yung mga kapitbahay, nakita ko kawawa rin sila why would they support yung drug war ni Digong ng ganyan na bara-bara? So pagkaintindi ko is parang tingin nila dahil Philippines is not developed yet, kailangan mo ng strong leader. But feeling ko yung word na strong leader is too vague. It could go wrong in so many ways.
Minsan bandwagon na lang din eh. Nakita nila na, di ba? Uy, parang okay to ganyan Nakita nila yung mga kaibigan nila, nag-share na, makikiganyan na din ako. Tapos you build a sense of community na pare-pareho tayong ganyan. Tapos inaaway tayo nitong mga dilawan, inaaway tayo nitong mga Tapos pangalawa, yung sa YouTube, yung pa rin sa social media yung pa rin napapanood kung paulit-ulit mong pinapanood yung mga vloggers dun sa kabila, ganun pa rin mangyayari. Kaya pareho lang pa rin naman yung call ko. Paramihin lang din yung mga vloggers on liwanag side. Paramihin yung vloggers na. So, para kahit pa paano mas maraming makuha, mas maraming kasi yung iba naka-wired in kung nanonood ka araw-araw ng mga DDS na vloggers, naka-wired na sa'yo there's nothing you could say that would make them against Duterte. Ang pwede mo na lang gawin is to offer them someone else. O tingnan mo to si Tulfo, parang mas okay O tingnan mo to si ganitong parang mas okay
Si Vico, so, parang gano'n. I-promote mo si
Vico. Yun, Vico.
Yeah, pero matapang gusto si Vico gusto Usually matapang na decisive leader ang gusto kasi parang tingin nila ang gulo ng Pilipinas.
Totoo. Shoutout din pala nung opening day ng Friday. Kasi nung morning nag-motorcade ako kasama si Isko. Dumiretso ako ng Pasig para sa kick-off ni Vico. So naka-attend pa tayo, napanood pa natin yung speech niya. Was able to congratulate him pa. Mukhang okay naman siya dun sa Pasig pero kailangan pa rin natin syempre tutukan at tulungan. Tapos nung hapon, nag-house to house kami ni Lino Cayetano. That's another story sa Taguig. Which is, binanatan siya ni Alan doon sa proclamation rally ni Mayor Alani. May hirit sa kanya, yung kanyang Kuya Alan. Tapos nung gabi, yun na yung proclamation rally ni Trillanes kasama si Senator Lisa. So, yung Friday ko, imagine mo, paikot-ikot akong gano'n, pero sobrang saya nung opening day ng local election.
Ganda bro. I congratulations. I think you're doing a lot. Obviously, I was doing a lot abroad with all the ICC developments and also I'm so happy that kasi pag kasama natin si Sir Ronald, ang daldal niya eh. Mahirap Kanina for the first time na outdaldal ko siya kasi binalikan yung mga bashing sa akin. So, nakita ko for the first time si Ronald na gets niya anong feeling ng ibang tao. Sabi niya, ganun palang feeling pag ikaw hindi pinaka nagsalita. Sabi ko, oo. Diba? So, I miss us just talking one-on-one kasi I think you bring a very interesting perspective. Despite all my, cheeky comments on you being Balimbing and Harry Jr. and all of that, kasalanan mo rin naman. I think you bring a very, kaya nga love na love ka ng mami ko. I think you bring a kind of a sincerity na, hindi naman parang, yeah, Team Philippines, basically. Yung parang, okay, naintindihan ko, iba-iba yung perspective. I may not agree, I may not be 100% here and there, but I'm willing to talk to different people. So yun yung pinaka gusto ko sa'yo, bro. Because that gives you a sense of wisdom and a big picture that most people who just choose one side and they don't want to talk to the other side cannot. So I think yung amiability mo, bro, is really your advantage. So tuloy-tuloy mo lang yan, bro. Are there updates for people who want to support? Is there a website they can go to? Is there a volunteer center? Are there areas you're gonna have events that people wanna attend, bro, dun sa Senate campaign mo? And if of course, not a call for them to move it to 27. Yeah.
Manila TV, doon ko na lang ina-announce. Sa YouTube pa rin. So,
ano YouTube channels mo for the purpose of our audience?
Meron akong mga konting probinsya na dates, like Tarlac, plano ko mag-Jensan, plano ko mag La Union, yung si Representative Paulo Ortega, dalawin natin, and a few Naga, Kamsur.
Nice. Nice.
Before the election is over. So maganda din yun. Pero mostly, makikita nyo ako, Metro Manila, helping those campaigns, yung 4 na sinabi ko. So, kasama ako sa mga house-to-house, kasama ako sa mga caucus. So, mostly yun na yung magiging focus ko talaga.
Thank you very much, brother. Just to remind people, ano yung mga YouTube channels mo for people to follow you? And
Models of Manila TV.
Models of Manila TV. Oh, may TV na ngayon. Ibang klase talaga, bro. Parang every year nag-upgrade ka na. Vlog, tapos TV na. Ano bang na-stadium? Anyways, bro, thank you so much, brother. I know you're tired. You had a long day. Mabuhay ka. More power to you. Please take care of yourself. Stay safe and wag masyadong late night eating. Alam ko, yun yung mga campaign. Yung kain-kain, ganun. So take care of your health. Stay young, stay strong, and stay kind, brother. Yun ang pinaka-na-appreciate ko sa'yo. It's the kindness and sincerity you bring. Kaya love na love ka namin. And soon, hopefully, catch up naman tayo in person. Tuloy natin yung RRMC. Mukhang legendary yung ginawa natin press conference with Justice Carpio. Grabe. I think no one would forget that. Like, grabing reaction dun, bro. I mean, that was like insane. Yeah, that was amazing. So thank you for joining us.
Historic day yun eh. And then we just, kumbaga sa akin lang, last message ko. Nagawa na yung hard part, okay? Napadala sa ICC, tatakbo na yun. We just have to face yung backlash together. Eh, kasi malaki yung backlash. Galit na galit sila. At talagang everyday
you don't have to explain to me.
Yun. So, yun lang. We need to work together. Everyone who believes dun sa pinaglalaban natin. So,
Thank you, brother. Siguro bias din ng mga followers natin yan. I think everyone was really happy with the first part of our discussion about tawagin natin Team Liwanag, people coming together, Risa, Senator Trillanes, support for Kiko, Bam, Mendoza, Commissioner Mendoza. So I'm glad that nagka-crystallize na ron itong alternative na to because I think people want to see alternatives na hindi lang Duterte versus Marcos. Yeah.
Ipasok ko na din yung parati ko sinasabi, Richard, for Team Liwanag. Team Liwanag needs more stars.
Yes.
We have a new one with Heidi Mendoza. Very good yan. Marami pa dyan. Marami pang makukuha dyan ng mga young, idealistic, attractive. Kumuha ka ng artista, kunin mo si Dingdong Dantes, kunin mo si anyone na may alam mong right
May
values,
charisma. Yeah.
diba? Yung morals, tama. So, then work on that. Katulad nung ginagawa ngayon kay Heidi. So, we could have larger movement heading to 2028.
100%, brother. I just say, I think this is just the opening chapter. Team Liwanag, this is just the opening, ito yung unang mga filtering of the sunlight, diba? Parang ganun. So I think a lot could happen and a lot to look forward to. And I'm glad that, bro, together we're covering these historic moments, including grabe yung parang press conference historic moment. But looking forward to other historic moments na not as stressful and not as bashy and more masaya. So hopefully we will break down more of this race in the coming days and weeks with you, with Kristan, with Sir Ronald, with hopefully Justice Carpio once he's back. He has also overseas engagement. So ito na, at least may grupo na tayo and I'm so happy about that. Maraming salamat.
Mandaluyong. Kampanya tayo.
Yes, bro. Yeah, okay, with Chris. With Chris. Yeah. And
Let's
Caloocan.
schedule it.
And Caloocan, bro.
Oh.
Let's do with
Caloocan, oh.
Trillanes in person. Let's do an in-person vlog with him. Tatlo tayo, upo tayo. Let's discuss things. So,
Okay.
looking forward. Let's set up with Senator Trillanes. That would be great. God bless, brother, and talk to you soon. I-send ko to sa'yo.
Okay,